oh Lord help me, Ace, the coolest, cappest character in One Piece. The son of Goldie Roger is one of the most interesting cases when it comes to power. He's in a weird position where he died before the power system was fully fleshed out, but he should still be relevant to the characters of today. And let me show you why. Before that though, let me address the canonicity of the Ace novels. Yes, they are canon, and while they weren't written by Oda himself, he did supervise heavily over them. The novels don't contradict any actions or ideas in the main story as well. Now, Boichi's manga version of the novel is a bit trickier because it's an adaptation of an adaptation. However, it doesn't really contradict any points from its source material or the OG canon. Boichi's manga just cuts out some important events from the novel and adds some lore that makes sense and makes Ace look better. So for this video, I'll be examining feats from both stories. With that out of the way, I can go over the title of this video and why Ace is the cappest character in One Piece.
You burned my house to the ground!
1. He fought Yamato, who was relative to base Kaido, but this was 4 years before the main story, and we don't know how strong Yama was. 2. Ace did fight Jinbei for 5 days, however, we don't know how strong he was at the time. We know that Jinbei at that point was not strong enough to beat Who's Who, because then he would be more powerful than Katakuri, which he clearly isn't during the Fishman Island arc. 3. Ace could be above Izo because he's a second commander and Izo is a 16th. This would for sure make him stronger than the Tobiropo and Katakuri because the Scabbards are completely above them. However, Whitebeard's commanders aren't even ranked based on strength. You can't even argue that they would be relative because some division commanders are complete fodder, and then we have Marco and Vista able to fight with admirals and shit. 4. Ace did clash with Aokiji, but he has a Devil Fruit advantage. Do you see what I'm getting at here? All of Ace's showings are layered in cap, and he only has one good feat to go off of. In the novels, Ace had 100 duels with Whitebeard. However, his last one contains his biggest showing. The son of Roger was able to keep up and actually push Whitebeard to use his Tremor Fruit powers. Before this, Ace was getting one-tapped by basic punches and swings from White, which shows how far he progressed. In fact, Jinbei thought he was a whole different person from the Ace he fought before the 100 duels. Keep in mind, Ace defeated a Vice Admiral before he even met Jinbei, so no, Whitebeard doesn't just use his fruit powers on anybody. As for where this puts him in the power ranking though, Ace is easily above the Tobiropo, Doflamingo, and even Katakuri. Let me explain what I mean by this. So during the 100 duels, Whitebeard is the strongest man alive, strongest pirate, whatever. This puts him above Kaido entirely. Of course, White isn't going all out in this instance, but the fact that Ace can keep up with him for at least a couple minutes is better than Gear 4 Luffy getting one-shot by base Kaido. This is the same Gear 4 that defeated Katakuri, which means that Ace has a complete better feat than any character pre-Wano. And if you're one of those people that's gonna say, well, we actually have no accurate way of scaling how hard Whitebeard was trying, valid, but congratulations, you just made Ace unscalable. The only counter I could see against this is the infamous Kaido was stated to be stronger than Whitebeard in the Ace novel. I have a deep hatred for this statement, and it shows how ignorant people can be, because if you actually read the Ace novel, then you know it doesn't come from a credible source. The line comes from a character named Skull, who is actually a nerd when it comes to pirates, but besides that, he's just a civilian. He has no concept of hockey or how the top tiers actually fight, so of course, like everyone else in the One Piece world, he assumes that Kaido is the strongest because he is physically greater than Whitebeard. With that out of the way, I can go over where Ace actually caps out. It's pretty clear that Marco is the strongest of Whitebeard's commanders, with him having the best feats and portrayal. Even in the novels, he's depicted as a senior and superior among the crew, whereas Ace is just a young rookie. The novels did take place a couple years before the main story, however, I don't think that changes anything. The last section I need to talk about is Ace's hacks and abilities. First off, Ace is the user of the Flame Fruit, allowing him to conjure, manipulate, and turn into fire. We already knew that, and while it isn't a bad power or anything, it's only really versatile in a destructive type of manner. The real power y'all want me to talk about is his haki. At face value, this is one of the biggest contradictions in the lore. Ace is one of the most powerful commanders on Whitebeard's crew, however he's surprised when Blackbeard's actually able to touch him, as if haki isn't a thing. Again, this is where the novels come in clutch to give more information. Let's go over this first. Ace is a user of all 3 types of haki. He is no master of any of the forms, however he is aware of armament and observation, as he trained with Commander Thatch to strengthen those abilities. Conqueror's haki is really where Ace is lacking, as he only ever uses it subconsciously. When you really look at it, his fight with Blackbeard doesn't really contradict anything. Ace is really more surprised that Teach can actually hit him, because before this, Blackbeard had portrayed himself as a bumbling oaf to the entire crew. So I can see why Ace is surprised that Teach of all people could have haki, or a random devil fruit power that allows him to be hit. To be fair, their fight on Monaro Island only speaks to how powerful Blackbeard actually was. Even before the war, he defeated a character that can beat Doflamingo and Katakuri. In summary though, going off of the novel's portrayal of Ace, we can see that the son of Roger was no joke. A Logia fruit user who can wield all 3 types of haki and has the skill to go toe-to-toe with emperors. Oh yeah, and he was only 20 years old. 3 years into his pirating journey, and he could already defeat vice admirals, warlords, and top commanders of other pirate crews. Many of his feats may be cap, but do not sleep on Ace, as he is still a relevant character to this day.